John chapter 3 conclusion. What is this chapter about? What can we learn from this chapter? Well, it's a very important chapter. I explained in the beginning, the reason why we're in this beautiful garden is because this chapter is so beautiful. There's so much beauty in it. It clearly shows us the importance of Jesus, right? Who Jesus is. Okay, I think the focus, the focus in this chapter is on Jesus, right? Because it's believe in Jesus, right? And how do you believe in Jesus? It is if the Spirit prepares, if you're born again. Are you born again through the Spirit? Okay, so it starts off with Nicodemus coming at night to Jesus. Why did he come at night? Because after what Jesus did in the end of chapter 2, chasing everyone out of the temple, the buyers and the sellers, right? As a leader, going then to Jesus during the daytime, that would not have been a very good look. So that's why he came at night. Pretty simple, straightforward. No need to, that's, I feel, the only solution to this, or there's no other reason for this. This is why he did. Okay, so he had these questions. He admitted to the fact that Jesus is a rabbi, right? He's sent by God. Why? Because no one can do these signs if not sent by God. This is his conclusion. But there's as well, even in this chapter, a growth concerning who Jesus is. Not in so much in Nicodemus himself. Nicodemus' growth in his understanding of who Jesus is going to take basically everything from here to the end of the book, or close to the end of the book, till his death, ultimately, right? But there is an statement that's made by John, partly through Nicodemus and then partly through John the Baptist, that is, to put things together. Okay? So Nicodemus starts off with you, well, you can see you are a teacher sent from God, right, because of the signs. And then John ultimately, Jesus is going to allude to the fact that no one ascended except he who descended from above, right? So I can tell about heavenly things, but you don't understand even the earthly things. And then how it ends with John clearly as well stating that Jesus came from above, right? So I hope you can understand what John the writer, the beloved disciple, is trying to do here by stating how Nicodemus saw part of it and Jesus saw the other part of it. Nicodemus just as a teacher sent from God, but Jesus alluding to him to know is more than that. And then John the Baptist, ultimately, when they ask him, so Jesus is getting more people going to him, so then John clearly said, but he's a bridegroom, right? I'm happy he came because he is the one that's from above, right? So see, in this chapter there is this growth, but through two people. In most cases it's through one person, the growth. But in this case, two people are used to bring out this growth. Same effect. So Nicodemus, Jesus speaking to him about being born again. Are you born again? By the Spirit. Born from the Spirit. Right? It's not, chapter 1 you already alluded, it's not from what you want, it's from God, from what God intends, it's God's desire. You are born from Him. Clearly in this chapter says, Jesus said, it's like the wind, you don't know where it's coming from, where it's going. And so our being born again starts from the Spirit. What we see when we bring the gospel to someone is maybe an acceptance by the person of the gospel, and so therefore we think, but because we did so well, right, in convincing the person, right, we are Charles Finney, right, we are so good in getting people to pray the prayer. I had so many people pray the prayer with me, kind of, and were any of that true, or any because of me? I think maybe some of them were true, a few maybe, but because of me, no. Because I know it is this preparation of work of the Spirit ultimately. So it's not your convincing, it's not someone gave his heart to Jesus, accepted Jesus because of he making a choice and you are such a good tool in God's hands. It is the grace of God that is using you, and it's because of the work of the Spirit that happened before. Okay, so it starts off with the work of the Spirit. The cleansing work of the Spirit, water and Spirit, right? That needs to happen. And when that happens, and how, it is belief in Jesus. And what is the sign of belief in Jesus? The sign that Moses, the bronze snake there in the desert, the snake being lifted up. Jesus will be lifted up. And then he says, for God so loved the world, right? Because this comes again, it's God who gave Moses to lift up the snake. Okay? It is God the one that loved the world. It is God the one who sent his son. All this starts from God. And only those who believe in him will not perish. Okay? Then it goes on to say as well in a very clear manner that those who do believe, they won't be judged. But those who don't believe, they're already judged. Not that they will be judged, they're already as a fact judged. Okay, which I clearly explained, and it shows that it's not a question of today you are saved, tomorrow you're not saved, or today you believe, tomorrow you don't believe, and today you're not judged, tomorrow you're judged, and the day after you're not judged, and the day after that you're judged, kind of idea. No. It's not like that, because then these verses won't make any sense at all. No, you either believe and you're not judged, or you don't believe and you're judged. Why don't you believe? Because ultimately your works are evil. Because your works are, they're evil, and you hate the light. Okay, and why are your works evil? Because you're not born again. If you're born again, then there will be good works. Before the foundation of the world, God prepared for you good works to do. So you do the good works because God prepared for them, because God's the one who saved you. You don't do the good works, the works are evil. You are guilty because your works are evil and you don't want to come to the light. Right? No one wants to come to the light. We're not moths attracted to the light. We hate the light. We flee the light because our works are evil. Your works are good just because. So you see this ordo salutis, like they want to say, like this Latin, this order of salvation. Now it's not so clearly, but clearly it starts with you need to be born again. How are you born again? Work of the Spirit. If you're born again, how? Faith in Jesus. Jesus living, dying, rising again. Right? In this case, a sign of his death. And then good deeds follow. Right? It's so simple. No judgment then. Okay? So that's like you are justified, not because of yourself, and not a temporary thing, but because of Christ. Okay? So like in Romans chapter 8, that whole order of salvation as well. It doesn't contradict, it fits in with that. Okay? It just gives us more, a clearer understanding of other stages and steps involved as well. And then ultimately, then the last part of, and the necessity of the last part is to take this understanding of Jesus all the way to the end. In other words, he's not just a man, a rabbi, not just a good teacher who does certain signs, but he is actually a lot more than that. He came from above. Okay? Which we see from John's explanation about why he's not unhappy about the fact that Jesus is becoming more. Because he's from above. Because he's more than just a teacher. He's more than just my cousin, right? He is sent from above. So that growth in. Okay, other important things just that we learn from this chapter is the fact that there's no hidden knowledge. Okay, God is not hiding. He's not hiding behind that bush there or behind those flowers over there. These flowers, with all their beauty, shouts out to the fact that God exists. Right? These flowers here today, gone tomorrow. Okay, they shout out to the fact that God exists. Not quiet. They shout loud about the fact that God exists. Right? That's just that. Like these flowers clearly shows us there's a gardener. Okay? We know God exists because these flowers shout it out. If you don't believe in it, it's not because God is hiding. It's because your works are evil. That's just that. Okay? So it's not hidden. In the Old Testament, Nicodemus, as a teacher of the law, he could have known, he should have, he ought to have known it. Jesus clearly showed, you're a teacher of Jesus, you kind of not know this, right? How to be born again. It's everywhere in the Old Testament. Okay, it's not hidden. So John, the beloved apostle, speaking through Nicodemus to the Jewish leadership and say, this is not hidden, this is not, you are teaching the word of God. You ought to, the Old Testament that is, right? The Talmud, right? You're teaching that, the law and the prophets, you ought to be able to see that there. Speaking of a kingdom, you have the wrong idea of a kingdom because you can go to the Talmud, you can go to the law and the prophets, you can see. You can see. Why don't you believe? Because your works are evil, because the Spirit didn't work. We all reject Him. Okay? And so yes, all these things are very important. God is not to blame for your not believing in Him. God is not to blame for the fact that you will end up in hell. It's not because he didn't elect you. His election or non-election of you is not sending you to hell. Your choice is to go to hell. It's His grace that some will be saved. It's His grace that the Spirit works in some. It's just the will of God. That's the beauty of it. Like the beauty of this garden. The beauty of who God is that He did choose some, although none deserved it. Don't you understand? Don't you see that? He could have just let us go all to hell because we all deserved it. But through His Spirit, He gave life to some to be born again, so as to experience this, so that the deeds can be good, so the light can shine, so that we will love the light. No other way. No other way but the grace of God. Not your choice, not your deeds. Only the grace, the love of God. Nothing more. So praise Him. Soli Deo Gloria.